Will bank runs in the small European country of Cyprus eventually lead to bank runs all across Europe and the United States? Could it eventually lead to martial law? But Chris, wait, hold on a minute. Who cares about Cyprus? Most Americans have never even heard of that small, itty-bitty little island country in the eastern Mediterranean Sea, east of Greece and south of Turkey. This couldn't possibly happen in the United States, or could it? Well, to find out, let's compare financial statements for both countries and look for clues. Remember, this is what we were told during the 2008 financial crash.
Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
A little over 4 years later, and as a result of massive stimulus and artificial interest rates, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is now posting new all-time highs. Real estate has picked up a bit, and get this, even with the surge in prices, the Federal Reserve has no intention of letting up on the brakes anytime soon. In a New York Times report over the weekend, Ben Bernanke indicated that to reassure investors, the Fed stresses it will not end the stimulus. Well, when will it end the stimulus? Quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3, and twist, followed by the central bank buying over $85 billion a month in Treasury and mortgage-backed securities totaling over $10 trillion so far, isn't enough to sustain the recovery? A record all-time high in the Dow Jones Industrial Average isn't enough? Over the weekend, Eurozone leaders, to partly fund a bailout of Cyprus, decided to tax bank deposits as part of the rescue. The bloc struck a deal on Saturday to funnel Cyprus rescue loans totaling 10 billion euros and impose a tax on its citizens of between 6.75 and 9.9% of their money. Can the European Union do this? Overtly steal from people's bank accounts to pay for bailouts, ultimately paid by the same people through reduced unemployment benefits and other forms of austerity? Remember, in 2011, John Corzine, CEO at the time of MF Global, stole billions of dollars from customer accounts to cover bad bets he had made trading exotic derivatives. This money was stolen from his customers, just like what happened in Cyprus over the weekend. Many of these customers which lost their life savings. Well-known political and economic forecaster Gerald Celente lost an undisclosed sum along with thousands of other people in the MF Global scandal. Heist. So what happened? Did John Corzine go to jail?
I said not only maybe will I get my money back, but it's the fact that the 3 months I lost to work, the commissions, and the integrity it did to the marketplace. I sure wish I was in his club.
Yep, no, John Corzine is obviously ex-senator, ex-governor, well-connected. You know what I walk away thinking? If you're one of those elites, you're above the law.
Corzine, former governor of New Jersey and a close friend of President Barack Obama, has barely even been questioned for his crimes that resulted in the disappearing act of over $1.2 billion. President Obama once hailed Corzine as an honorable man, end quote, and one of his best partners, end quote, in the White House.
John's a leader who's been called to govern in some extraordinary times. John Corzine wasn't just the first governor to pass an economic recovery plan for his state. He was an ally with the Obama administration in helping us develop a national recovery plan.
Corzine hosted a private fundraiser for Obama at his Manhattan home in April 2012 and gave the maximum individual contribution to Obama and Democrats for his 2012 re-election campaign. He and his family have donated more than $933,000 to Democratic candidates and groups since 1990 and have bundled more than $500,000 in contributions for Obama's re-election campaign in 2012. Many of this and much of this came from his deep pocket friends and associates, many of whom have strong ties to Wall Street. According to a government report in the second quarter of 2012, Cyprus had a growing debt-to-GDP ratio of 84.3%, That means for every dollar in GDP, over 84% of that goes to service its debt repayment. Compare this to Greece, which had a debt to GDP ratio of 144%, and the United States with a debt to GDP ratio of 107%. It begs the question, which country should expect bank runs next? Will the riots in Greece spread to the United States and eventually result in martial law? According to Forbes, over the past few months, Homeland Security has bought over 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition. Some of this purchase order is for hollow point rounds, forbidden by international law for use in war, along with a frightening amount specialized for snipers. At the height of the Iraq War, for example, the Army was expanding less than 6 million rounds a month on ammunition. Therefore, 1.6 billion rounds would be enough to sustain a hot war for 20 plus years in the United States. Why would the Department of Homeland Security need all these bullets? According to other reports, the DHS has also purchased over 2,700 mine-resistant armored protected vehicles, MRAPs. These military tanks have been retrofitted for service on the streets of the United States. Could the DHS be gearing up for civil unrest in the streets of America? Also, in a recent report first leaked by Aaron Hawkins of Storm Cloud's Gathering, internment camps for political dissidents in the U.S. aren't a conspiracy theory. The Department of Defense document entitled Internment and Resettlement Operations, or FM 3-39.40, proves this beyond a shadow of a doubt. This report, first published in 2010 but not leaked until now, clearly suggests the U.S. government is preparing political dissidents for concentration camps, much like occurred with Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Executive Order 9066, where the president ordered the unlawful imprisonment of innocent Japanese Americans during World War II. Like FDR, is President Barack Obama preparing for war? Could recent bank runs in Cyprus be signaling contagion that is soon to spread to the rest of Europe and eventually result in a financial collapse here in the United States? Is the president, along with the Federal Reserve, front-running one of the most giant Ponzi schemes and catastrophic financial meltdowns in the history of the world? Will the recently passed National Defense Authorization Act be used to imprison innocent Americans without trial and jury? Will Obama's 23 executive orders to ban guns in the United States be used to disarm the American people before the outbreak of war? Is America on the verge of total annihilation? Links are posted below. Please share this video everywhere you can, repost it on your website, and email it to your friends. For more videos like these, please subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Greenwave, and visit our websites at AMTV Media and greenwave.com. I'm Christopher Green, hard-hitting and in your face.